So Mr. Rich Nelsen from Starbucks Europe, Middle East and Africa. We're standing here in the first neighborhood store in Amsterdam, so to speak. Can you just briefly explain what that neighborhood store concept is all about?
Well, the neighborhood store concept is really about how do we fit in each local neighborhood. We're in a lot of communities, but this is the first neighborhood that we're in Amsterdam, and today's our opening day, and you can see people already sort of staking claim at their neighborhood location.
How long did it take you to develop this concept?
Well, I think the concept of neighborhood stores has been developing since we opened our first one in Pike Place Market in downtown Seattle, but it evolves every year. And the neat thing about Starbucks is the designer comes out and spends days in the community, learning about the community, and then drawing up the design, finding the right building with a real estate team, and then really finding something that we believe represents when local residents walk in here that goes, yeah, if I would have designed it, I would have designed that part. One of the things we're most proud of is that we know when we got it right is when somebody says, that's my Starbucks. I've been to all the Starbucks around the world, but my Starbucks is better than all of them, and this is why. And it's usually something that's locally relevant.
In the Netherlands, it took quite some years for Starbucks to set foot on the ground, so to speak. A couple of years ago, you started with HMS Host and with Servex in a more franchise construction. This is the second of three own stores to be opened in Amsterdam this year. Why did it take so long for Starbucks to open own stores in the Netherlands?
I think it took a while because it's not our preference to own stores or work with partners. We have two fantastic partners in HMS Host and Servex, and they've done a really great job. Even if you look at neighborhood stores, I know it's hard to conceive have the concept at Schiphol, but if you look at one lounge, there's just a quick place where you can go in, get your coffee and leave, and in another place at Schiphol that you can go sit down and there are over 70 seats and you can sort of have a third place experience while you wait for your guests to come in. And so we believe that we created those places in the trains and in Schiphol, and now it's time to really operate in the heart of Amsterdam. And we really wanted to take our time and be respectful of the Dutch market, really take our time and get to know the communities here. And I think when you see this store, you'll see that the time was worth taking.
Was it also maybe an aspect of waiting to see if the Dutch market was ready for Starbucks? I mean, if you work with partners first, they have responsibility, they have the risk, so to say. And now you see that Starbucks in train stations and on Schiphol are successful. Now it's time for Starbucks to come over and start neighborhood stores. Is that the way it goes?
I wish it was that easy. You know, it's been every store we've built in the Netherlands from the first one 4 years ago has been very successful. We've had a roasting plant here for 9 years. We've been embraced by the Dutch community. And so for us, it's not been about that at all. It's just been more about our timing and figuring out when it was right for our organization to really open in Amsterdam. And now it's time, and we're very proud of the result.
What is your perspective of the Dutch coffee market as a whole? Was it hard to penetrate, or was it easy, or what are your thoughts about that?
Well, it's just been wonderful. I mean, you have 750,000 residents. You have 1 million tourists a year. You have great coffee culture. There's a lot of good competition, and good competition helps build coffee knowledge. You have high coffee consumption with the local consumption of coffee on a daily basis. All of that makes for great coffee. And we think we'll do nothing but increase that coffee consumption over the next years.
What are your biggest competitors on the Dutch market?
Well, anyone who sells coffee we consider in the competitors, but really what we do is similar to many but not similar to all. And so there are many coffee companies that are local and locally relevant for sure. We believe we're local and locally relevant. If you look at Leidenstraat, it's local to the square. And if you look at this store, we're very relevant here. And I mean, even over there, you have a customer who was a customer here in the previous company, has now embraced us as his now new home place, is what he's saying.
There's literally a coffee company literally across the street of here. Did you aim to be near one of those stores, or is that just a coincidence?
I would just say that they probably picked a good location, and we picked a good one as well. I mean, this neighborhood is just right for us. And
why is that? I mean, outside, as it's called, it's quite an affluent neighborhood in Amsterdam. Did you aim for that kind of environment?
I would say we aim for where can we be locally relevant. So if you look at the Leidenstraat location and you look at this one, they're very different. But we built a store that we believe is really relevant to that location. It's built for speed and going through. This one is really built for the community and really local connections. And as we looked at this community, it's really close. It's really together. Friendships are here. And yeah, we think we can create that environment. And after 15 minutes out there, it looks like that's happening.
And in terms of real estate, how do you go about that? Did you have a Dutch partner as well to look into your real estate, I suppose? And how did you find a store like this?
Well, we do all of our, for the company-owned stores and much of our business partner, we do all of the real estate ourselves. And so what we target is where's the coffee consumption at? And where's the target audience at? And then where are those places around Amsterdam? And then begin to build the plan. But as you know, real estate comes available, not at the same time you want to build. And so we have to be smart about that. And we think over the next couple of years you'll see that we've taken our time, but we built all the right locations.
In this case, you combined two previous stores. I suppose they didn't come available all together at the same time. So there must have been some sort of hostile takeover, if you like. That's a bit more aggressive than I'd like to be. But how do you explain that? I mean, did you buy out the former owners, or how does it work?
Yeah, well, I can't get into the details of that, but I would share what I'm proud of, and that the previous owner here came here last night to help us celebrate the opening, and our friends and family, and we consider them friends. So. We're very proud of the relationships we have and how we work with previous owners, and I can't get into the specifics of this deal because that wouldn't be fair. But we're proud of the relationships we have.
This is as you say, the first neighborhood store. How many are there to follow?
I guess I would say back to everyone listening. How many neighborhoods are ready? We get a lot of requests, on our Facebook page. That we picked the wrong neighborhood and there should have been first, or when are you coming to our neighborhood, or when are you coming out of Amsterdam? And I think the really fortunate thing for us is nobody is saying get out of our neighborhood. Everyone is saying we want to be next, and we hope in Amsterdam there's quite a few more neighborhoods to come.
Are there any concrete plans already apart from the one at the Rembrandtplein?
I would say this: we have an exciting calendar. And I hope to do many more of these interviews over the next year.
Will it all be in Amsterdam or outside as well?
There'll be quite a few in Amsterdam. We're focused in Amsterdam currently. We really want to make sure we do these communities right before we try to expand outside. But it's not relative to. We don't think that those communities are good because they're quite good. But let's finish out the city of Amsterdam, and then we'll grow bigger.
You say finish, so you want to finish your expansion within Amsterdam before you go outside of the city?
Well, I would say finish in the U.S., and we've been doing that for 40 years. So, each community has a journey, and I don't think we'll get all the way to the end of the journey here in Amsterdam before we start to grow out. But let me say it more correctly. That says I want to progress more here and make sure that we really are respectful of the Dutch community and what is necessary for us to be locally relevant. We think we have it right here, but we just opened the doors. We're going to get feedback from our customers, we get feedback from our employees or partners, and we'll adjust a little. And then the next store will be a little better, and then we'll adjust a little, and the next store will be a little better, and then we'll go back and adjust on the first store and try to make it a little better. And so remember, the thing that Howard wrote in his book is we're an evolving company. We're not trying to be perfect. We're trying to be local, relevant, and the best company we can be. And sometimes we get it right. Most of the times we get it right. Sometimes we have a little work to do.
Starbucks sometimes have the name of being expensive. What do you think of that price perception? Does that apply to the Dutch market? And do you change prices? Are prices different here than on a store in Schiphol, for example?
Well, when we partner with other partners, they set their own prices. We don't set the prices. That's part of working with the licensees. We don't set their prices. We make recommendations. what I would say is in this market, we've made recommendations, and we think that the prices that everyone's charging are really a fair representation and a very good quality or a very good value for the money.
In the Netherlands, and I think in Europe as a whole, there's this trend about slow coffee, drip coffee, so to say. When Starbucks started, you had drip coffee and had to throw away a whole can of coffee every half an hour. Now this trend that's emerging over the last year of slow or drip coffee, if you like. How does Starbucks treat that? Are you reintroducing drip coffee?
Well, what we believe we are as experts in coffee. And being an expert in coffee, we have a responsibility to lead that category. And over the next year, you'll begin to see how we become leaders in that coffee and drip. And we bought a company called Clover, which I think is the best slow coffee you could possibly get. And when we decide how that is rolled out in the U.S., when we decide how that really plays out in Europe, that is the best cup. We also have moved to pour over and really creating an experience for customers. So what comes next for the Netherlands or what comes next for Europe, I don't know yet. But I can tell you this, across the next year you'll see us being the experts in coffee, slow coffee being a part of it. Well, pour over we're currently using around the world. We have to decide what is locally relevant in this community. And when we decide what that is, and we'll bring those concepts in, and we may even test some things over the next year that maybe even expand people's thought process relative to coffee. I mean, remember, we consider ourselves, and you should expect, the customer should expect us to be experts in coffee, and slow coffee is one of the demands that's being put on us right now to show.
How do you think that Horeca entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs in hospitality in the Netherlands are reacting on Starbucks coming to the Netherlands? Because previously you worked with partners, so you were not really like a threat, but now you're coming directly to the Dutch market. And do you think that they consider you to be a threat, or do you cooperate with some other entrepreneurs maybe?
Yeah, well, I have only been in the Netherlands since January. But I can say the welcome I've had in the business community has been incredible. And I think it's our relationship with our business partners at Schiphol, with Host, our relationship with Servex, and they see the way that we sort of behave in the community. And behave meaning we're socially responsible. We're doing beach cleanups. We're cleaning up parks and communities. And so we're not just coming here as a big company. We're coming here as a small company 9 years ago, opening up a roasting plant, who has also now opened a couple of company-owned stores and company-run stores. And so for me, it's not Starbucks comes to the Netherlands. Starbucks has been in the Netherlands, now opened 2 company-owned stores.
In the US, I mean, America is famous for Dutch people. If you go there and buy a coffee, you get a second free refill. Is that something you're going to introduce to the Netherlands as well?
Well, we'll see what the market holds in terms of that. Each market we respond differently to what we're going to do. And to be honest with you, I don't know the answer to that question. So we'll have to defer that to the local team here. But.
Okay, well, I hope to speak to you soon about other stores opening in Amsterdam, and thank you for this interview.
Thank you very much.